In the memory of the tragedy of September 11th, I would just like to take a moment to remember the lives lost and the brave souls of our first responders during the devastating moment as the Twin Towers fell. You are all forever in the world's thoughts and prayers. Hello and a very warm welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Big Carp News Podcast. I'm your host Joel Harbour and I'm delighted to be bringing you a number of podcasts over the coming months, of which we will be talking all things carpy right here in the USA. Everything from the history of carp angling right up to current times and absolutely everything in between. So whether you're out on the road or out on a session waiting for a fish or just relaxing in the comfort of your own home, grab yourself a drink, take the weight off, and sit back as I'm delighted to connect you with a number of guests right here on the Big Carp News Podcast. Our next guest by many is referred to as a true character in the US carp angling community. Growing up and starting his journey into angling from within the city limits of NYC and the surrounding boroughs. He is known to be very partial to never turn away from a high-end hot dog when they're on offer. And of course, over the years, has brought many carp anglers together by way of a 20-year commitment to the Carp Anglers Group as the New York State Chair. And as I'm sure you'll agree with me that this podcast was an enjoyable one at that. It's my pleasure to welcome to the fourth episode of the Big Carp News Podcast, Mr. Ed Wagner. Left Connecticut State and I've come all the way up to Catskill Mountains pretty much, aren't we? We're right in the Catskills here.
Yeah, we're up in Roxbury, New York. I guess maybe like 60, 70 miles from Albany.
Yeah, right now we're in your new home. You just recently moved, haven't you?
Yeah, I am in my new home. That's my old. I was almost there 9 years, but it's all right. What can I say?
Comfortable now. Everything's kind of settled down and
finally settled down a little bit after it's been on since July and August, getting here and moving, and had my family come up and help me, and I don't know,
a lot going on, isn't it?
Yeah, miss my old place, I must say.
Yeah, right. Now was that closer to some of the waters that you would fish?
No, it's only like 4 miles from here.
Oh, so it's really not that far.
I'm in the same area.
Oh yeah. So you know the area anyway.
Yeah. No, even my family's come up here since we've owned property up here since 1964. My parents did.
Wow. Okay.
So I've come up. So actually, I lived most of my life in Queens until I was 60 years old. I drove tractor trailer down here. I went for a freight company for 22 and a half years. And then I drove 17 years for Pepsi Cola in the 5 boroughs and tri-state.
So you're a city guy then? You're kind of down through the city. And
so when I was 60 years old, me and my wife, we moved to Monticello. And I'll have like a rocky relationship sometimes. But anyway, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Anybody who knows me, love is never an issue with me and my wife. It's just right. Whatever. But anyway.
It's life, isn't it? It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to see you tomorrow. It's her birthday, September 11th. She'll be 74 like me. I can't believe we got that old so fast.
Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's been fun.
Ups and downs and all that. Yeah. All right, well, that's great. And now, you were just speaking prior to, so you said you had gotten out, do a little bit of fishing recently.
Yeah,
fairly close.
Yeah, I hadn't done nothing. I just do a reservoir. I fish over here and stuff like that. And it's been fishing real, I don't know. It's been weird down there.
I think
my friends have been fishing it, prior to me, but no one's fished in the last month and a half. Man, I just went to a place and I think Saturday, I sticked about 40, 50, 60 boilies out. And went this Sunday, did the same thing. Skipped Monday. And I went on Tuesday, got down here like 4 o'clock. I'm in my car.
In the morning? You get up nice and early?
No, in the afternoon.
Oh, jeez. All right.
I'm 74. I don't get when I lived in the city, I used to go with my cousin. And he lives in Boonton, New Jersey, and we go to Troy. Well, I'd leave like 2:30, get to Boonton, and we would be up there at daybreak at Troy. and come back down there, and I'd go to work the next day. I can't do that now.
It's carnage down in the Troy Dam, though. That's a lot of work. It's a workout,
it's not
isn't
to
it?
blame. You can't fish there anymore.
Yeah, it's changed.
Like the old place. I was like, listen, I was a chairman for KEG, for Carp
That's
Anglers
right,
for 20 years. I really was, since 2000,
That's
late
right.
99. And I put a lot of fishings on it. We had a lot of fun, but now they...
Yeah, that was the go-to spot, wasn't it?
Everybody went
I was
there.
talking with Anthony Bright.
Yeah, they went.
I think they're looking at maybe.
Yeah, they're trying to do something on the 7th to 18th. I hope I can make it. I don't know, but
now, so CAG, you did it. Obviously, you're chair.
I was a chairman for 20 years,
long time.
Yeah, and I always put 2 fishings on. I always put one in the spring and I always in fall.
Yeah,
I did.
Good turnout.
Always,
yeah.
Well, the thing was with me, I had like 5 or 6 buddies.
Yeah,
they would mostly come, but what I would do a lot of times with that. A lot of people like with KEG, chairmanship is like a big deal. I never made it like that. I did a lot of things for KEG, but with the fishings, well, like Fran Linsinski, which I miss, unbelievable. I can't believe that. I do. I really couldn't believe it with Fran. Because the whole time I was in this carp thing, I've known Fran. And he always came to my fishings. And
the guy was everywhere.
Yeah. So anyway, with the fishings, I always put one on the spring and fall. But I would reach out to people I knew. And I always kept pictures. So especially when I had the computer, I put you like Dutchman's. My thing was I started making hot dogs.
Yes, that's right. I remember coming to a couple that would
hot dogs, and then we had the road. Then all of a sudden I had like a flea market. That was nice. Fran loved that. We all waited. Fran used to bring stuff. It was.
It was.
I would
wasn't
pitch
it?
pictures of that up, like the eating hot dogs and the pictures of the fish, and it kind of spurred that. And a lot of times with it, I would bring me the hot dogs in and say, my brother Val, and people like that would say, "Do you need anything?" Well, they bring some sodas. So everybody chipped in.
Yeah, so everyone kind of bought something, didn't they? And it wasn't just the food. Everyone's their own kind of character, aren't they, in the fish and in the carp world? So they all bought their own little piece to the...
Yeah, and then, through the years with the KEG fishings, I've always said, sometimes I get a person, just recently, I always say a friend of mine, Barry, I know him 9 years now. He called me up one time here, and I was having a fishing at Dutchman's, Thomas Bull in Orange County.
Little mirror water, isn't it?
Yeah. So I never knew him. He called up, he says, "Hi, you Ed Wagner?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "You haven't had fishing over there?" I says, "Yeah. He says, "Well, I've been in a KEG for a while." He says, "But I just couldn't fish by myself." He says, and bap. I said, "Listen, come." I said, "Because you know what the thing is? You'll meet people. You see what they fish with.
Right.
You get an idea." I said, "Because I'm going to tell you." He goes, "Yeah, I'll tell you." I said, "Because I'm an example. I bite more crap. You don't know what it is. You don't know your sight unseen. Then you get it
shouldn't have bought that.
I shouldn't have bought that. And half the time, people know it from me the way I'm selling. People that say, "When are you going to start selling stuff?" And it's usually I have to sell something to buy something.
Right. That's the way it goes, isn't it?
And I'm kind of weird. If I don't like it, I don't care if it's brand new and I paid $200. I'm not keeping. I got to get something back to buy the next thing. So if I sell it for $100, that's me. So anyway, but with him. Yeah. We've become great friends. We've done tournaments. We talk every other day here.
And that was you just met just through a fishing.
Through fishing. I said to him, I said, "That's another thing I say." I said, "You'll see things that people use." He's, "Well, I like that." I said, "You'll meet people, and sometimes you really buddy up." I says, "Because
absolutely."
I says, "I have friends. I have Miguel, Mel, Mike, are really close, and I met them
all through
KEG fishing."
Yeah,
I says, "A lot of people, and then look what happened. Me and him and."
Yeah, now it's a lot, almost lifelong friendship, isn't it? Yeah.
He got into KEG. He's the,
I just had Ian Sorrell on the most recent podcast we did. Yeah. He's, still CAG president. President. So we talked a little bit about that as well. But it's amazing the roots and how far back it goes and how many people have all
meet like that.
Yeah, kind of connected through just through CAG alone. KEG. It's unreal.
I've had tremendous friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a long line of friendships that have just come from CAG alone.
It's just that KEG has changed a lot through the KEG was an opening and enlightened, the U.S. to it.
Yeah.
And we've had good, we're lucky, I tell you the truth, we have Ian right now because it's hard to get his head, but he's one of the best, if not the best.
Yeah, he's got his head screwed on, hasn't he? He knows what he's doing and all that.
If he's not the best president, we have some good ones through the year. Everyone were always good at their job, but
right.
Ian really...
Yeah, I think everyone kind of
compliment
offers something to the table that's slightly
It
different
does.
than the next one, right? So
It was a different time, different thing, you know.
yeah. No, that's fantastic. So, one thing I love to ask, or I always enjoy hearing from guys that I've been getting onto the podcast is how it all began in terms of fishing in general, not necessarily carp fishing, but the progression of how it started. For you.
I'll tell you, I have an interesting story because actually years ago, I used to write a lot of things for CAG and stuff like that, blah, 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 and I put a topic book up. Topic was, it never went. Me and Mike did it, but it was my first day fishing. That was what it was supposed to be.
Right.
It never took off with that. The thing was the idea of it, because I was Connecticut, I was a chairman, to put down your first day fishing. And I have mine. I wrote mine.
Just to like document it. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the first day you ever went fishing? Well, I'll tell you, I know exactly my first day fishing. I lived in Queens.
Yeah.
I had my Aunt Dolores. I was like 8, 9 years old.
Right.
It was summertime. And she said to me, she really, since a baby, always watched me. We were really close.
Yeah.
How would you like to go fishing? I was like, I never went fishing, So she went into Bob's pet shop and they bought a drop line. It had at the time he sold them for I think 50 cents. It was a drop line, had a float on it with a hook.
So it's just like the line wrapped around
That's
like
it.
a little.
That's it.
Yeah. 2
of them she bought for me. I remember she made us a lunch. We took the bus. She didn't drive. We took the bus out to Flushing Meadow Park.
Okay.
That's where the 64, 65 World's Fair was. And when I went there, it was in the 50s. So the fish in that lake were from the 39 World's Fair. And the 39 World's Fair, there was a Japan pavilion.
Okay.
And they had koi fish. And when it's done, they let them in that lake.
Because they don't want to deal with them afterwards. Obviously, they just kind of dropped them in there.
The fish in this lake, there were fantail white and red ones with 12-inch fantails. They were koi.
Gosh.
They weren't that big.
Right.
So she takes me to this place. I don't know. It was by Flushing Meadows was something. There was no Van Wyck Expressway. There was none of that. It was all Weeping Willow. It was a beautiful, beautiful place. And we sat there on the side, and she just put a loaf of bread she bought, and she put the bread in the hole and just flipped it out.
Now, did she know that the fish were going to eat that bread? Like, so she had it going to understand. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she never was a fishing, but I guess.
Right.
I don't.
It worked out all right, didn't it?
Amazing. That place is, to this day, I passed it many times as a truck driver on a Van Wyck and looked in there.
Yeah.
The 64, 65 World's Fair really did it in.
Yeah.
They took all the vegetation. They actually put poison in water for the weeds.
It's for the weed control and all that. Yeah.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of fish around that thing dead.
Oh, must have
terrible. And for years and years, and to this day, it never really got. But
but guys are still fishing it now, though, aren't they?
They do. There's never monster fish in there.
Man, so that's how it all began for you.
That's it.
And then from there, it progressed.
I just like carp fishing. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that type of fishing.
You do any other species? No.
Once in a while, I did trout fishing because my mother-in-law was up there and she likes to eat them. I liked flounder fishing.
Okay, so
that type of, and crabbing, but I wasn't like fly fishing. I don't like the stream, standing in the stream. I kind of like the casting out.
The sit and wait.
I do.
Yeah, kind of more patient. I don't know. I'm the same way. I don't mind getting out a little now and again, but I really do enjoy getting to a nice big lake, getting those lines out and just kind of waiting. Yeah. Wow, what a fantastic insight. So down there and on a water like that and just kind of learning to catch those fish. Now, what would you do with the hand line once you got them? You kind of just...
Well, we never caught on that day.
Did you go back again, though? You must have.
I don't think we ever went back again. I think I mentioned to my mother that my mother there used to be down by the Express. It really wasn't an express. It was called the Horace. That was before the Long Island Expressway. It was called the Horace Harding Expressway. It wasn't the Horace Harding Boulevard.
Before everything changed.
And from it came from. See, there was a lot of brackish water. It came from Flushing Bay, and it came. They have a dam, but it was Flushing Meadows to this day is brackish, very brackish.
Right.
But oh my God, there was a dam. The water flows. I have a. I don't know where it is. If I had a picture, I would show it to you.
Yeah.
It was me when I was 10 years old. The guy took me with a like this at the dam. Yeah. I used to fish with a bamboo pole.
Just a line tied on the end of it.
Yeah, I remember I caught a catfish. But that's how it started. And then when I got like 12, 13, I used to go out there by myself. You wouldn't think I should take the bus, me and my cousin, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like 12, 13. You think you could do that and that? No one bothered you. and you had to walk there. There was, like I said, there was no Van Wyck Expressway. It was the Grand Central, and that park was no cars were allowed in Flushing Meadow Park.
So you guys would just be walking. Well, you're probably walking along what now is the highway, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the big. That's what's Flushing with the big meadow. Yeah. And we walked down, but it was amazing.
Couldn't do that now, though, could you?
No, I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful. It just as a real soft spot in my heart, because I look at it now, and it's so beat up. It was it was to me a very magical spot to this day. I could always picture me and my Aunt Dolores alongside that bridge in that spot, sitting there.
Have you been back down there, that area, since to fish? Since then,
over the years after that, like when they started that thing around the 60s, we were still fishing. I was in my teenage years and stuff like that, and then they would chase you out of there, and it was just a long story. But after the World's Fair went done, I went back periodically. The fishing was never the same.
Yeah.
But, it came around, and I actually went there, when I started doing Euro fishing, I did do it that way and tried spotting.
Okay. No better, no.
And I had a Russian guy come. I'm with the spotting, and had a Russian guy come, and he had he had a thing with like two pockets, like I'm saying, an apron type of thing.
Yeah, okay.
All right?
Yeah, like a little waist apron thing.
Chunks of, I found out, chunks of bagel cod. And then he had like 4 rods, no lie. And each of them had 5 hooks. And when I went there, I was fishing his spawn, right? I'm thinking, I know what I'm doing, right? Like, what does this guy know? Right?
Yeah, right.
He comes up there, right? He takes out, he had it all set for his son. He goes, 1 hook, 2 hook, hook to hook, wee! Puts it in the thing. Next rod, 1 hook, 2 hook, wee! So
he's putting two hooks on the same rod, like whacking it out.
5 hooks.
Oh my!
5 hooks on each rod. And I'll tell you, bud. And half an hour went by. Here's his rod. Ding, 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 ding. He got like a 2-pounder.
Gee, he got one doing that. And isn't that crazy?
That place was amazing. When I was a kid, you could catch 20 fish a day. But beautiful goldfish. They were koi gold with red and white ones, yellow and gold ones, fantail. You had to see them. Fish that I caught there, people would pay $50, $100 for them.
Jeez.
We always let them go.
That's unreal.
Right.
So that's fantastic. And now you're in retirement now, aren't you?
Yeah, yes. For the last 14 years.
How's that been?
It's been fine.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy, like a lot of people say to me, so what do you do? I retired when I was 60. Right. But I had 2 bypass surgeries.
Yeah.
And I worked for 10 years while I had them. I did. I mean, I couldn't retire, stuff like that. You know? I always lived week to week.
And now, obviously, some people, jump for joy, don't they? Oh, retirement this, retirement that. I can't wait. I can get out. What is it really like that, though? For
me, it is. Yeah. I'm happy that
you're doing it. You're good to go.
I was never a guy that loved my job. Listen, I drove a truck. Yeah. Is what I did. I didn't graduate high school, nothing like that. I drove tractor trailer. I was a yard. But
you enjoyed it.
I liked it. I liked being out. No one told me. I didn't work in a factory. And to me, not everybody. You can get a truck driver license. But not everybody drives tractor trailer.
No,
so to me, it was something. I didn't graduate high school. I hated school.
Right.
But
it doesn't work for everyone, does it? The educational side of things. I was
didn't
never
do it for me.
No. It was never my strong suit being in a school environment.
Yeah, half the time, the kids send their kids to college and stuff like that, and you see what's going now.
Oh, it's with everything going
everyone's
on.
Everyone's partying up there. I don't know, whatever. I ain't going to get into that.
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's
I'm just saying. I mean, they come over there partying. Their family costs them $30,000 a year, and they come back and work at McDonald's. So. Whatever.
Bit of a waste, isn't it? Yeah. This year you've been getting out a little bit, doing some kind of sessions and getting some fish under your belt.
What it is? This year's been rough for me and stuff like that. I started off, this year because the water I fished was kind of weird, and then July came, and July I did the Waddington tournament up there.
Oh, from the St. Lawrence, right? Yeah.
And that heat wave. I mean, my friend Mike said we split up teams because me and Mike do WCB. But anyway, so I did it up there. And then it ended on the 12th of July. And when I came back on the next day, the place where I was renting came over. He said he was selling it. So
from there, it's just
July,
been like
August, and just that Saturday, like I said, when I went out on Tuesday, was the first day out for me.
blimey. So you've been kind of non-stop since then, This
has been the slowest year of me fishing. I've only been out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have got a lot going on, and then everything else with the the COVID and all that going on.
It would also with me too and stuff like that. I'm going to be 74 next month.
Right.
I started in keg when I was just turning about maybe in my late 40s.
Yep. Okay.
And then. Like I said, when I was 51, I had my first open heart surgery, and then I had one 5-6 days later. But I was in good shape. I still worked.
Wait, so you had one, and then
5 years later, I had another one.
Was that a necessity, or was that just something had gone wrong with the initial one?
No,
that's just what they do.
I had a trip. I had a 4 the first time,
right?
And then 5 years later, I don't know. I actually did go fishing. I was up in Gillette actually. I was with my friend Val, and. I had a serious cold. I remember that.
Really? Okay.
I just didn't.
So you'd been under the weather anyway.
I had been under it. And then when I got home that day, I said, I took off and I couldn't lose another day of work. And then I went to the emergency room and they said, "You're having a heart attack." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, it's weird.
And I did blah blah. Make a long story short, they said, "You're going to need."
Yeah, but
3 days later, I had a triple by me.
Just kind of in and out, just like that.
So now,
and what's the recovery like from that?
Surprising. What?
Yeah.
No, you would think you'd be in total pain when they.
I know. It's some serious stuff.
They took a saw.
It's no joke. I know.
And then they rip you open. I watched it, and it's like, give me,
God.
right? But you know something? The only thing I'd say to someone who has it, for the first week or two, or for a couple of weeks, they give you a pillow, and it's a reason. Because if you have to cough or something, you better push it against your chest. Because I did think, it hurt. But other than that.
Everything else was good to go.
Look, like I have, they took the vein. See it here still, right?
Right.
That never hurt me. Would you believe I can cut myself hurt? They cut me all over here and took one big vein out from my ankle to my groin.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It blows
amazing. I don't know how the hell they do that. And look,
blows my mind.
I would have been gone at 51.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Well, thank goodness for medicine, right?
But the thing I do is much good. You can see I should. I really don't change my diet. I'm better at it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Is that a necessity?
I'm 220
after that?
5. Yeah. A lot of people. This is going to go into a medical thing.
Yeah.
This interview is going to be kind of weird. But I'll tell you something. I don't know. It's been 20 years if I had it. I've never stopped anything. I do all the fishing like that.
Yeah.
Never did. I kept working the trailer. I watch my diet, but I'm not crazy. I'm 220. Most people, all they eat is fish and chicken, and they're like string beans. Like my cousin had, he's like 145 pounds, and he just eats salmon and what you call.
Yeah.
I don't, but my wife actually says maybe that's why you last long. Sometimes I think so. Your body doesn't have the nutrients because
you're getting on with it.
Yeah. So knock wood.
Yeah, right.
I'm still going.
Yeah. So you're in good health now as we speak, though, and everything's.
I will say this though.
Yeah.
It's harder for me now. I don't get out. You know all the crap we got to bring, and sometimes you don't want to bring it. I'm known for buying luggage. The reason I'm known for buying luggage is because I'm trying to find the ultimate. You just can't. My bag, no matter what I do, is 35 pounds.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Because then, if you get a bigger carry-on, then you can get more stuff in it, can't you? Yeah. And the next thing you know, you're bringing everything in the kitchen sink, can't you?
I mean, my buddy Mike, my buddy, he wrote an article like tackle talk about bait.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Yeah,
because it's true. You need this and this. There was a time when I used to take 40 different baits. I have learned now that I go. So unless I'm at a tournament, I only bring 3 baits. I like a pineapple.
Yeah,
I do like the banana PB crayfish.
Yeah,
that was something I.
That's right.
Together.
Yeah. I'm going to bring that
like
up
that
as well.
I like that, and the banana. That's it. That's not the boilies, but I'm much of a particle guy.
So since obviously needing to kind of reduce the amount of gear, have you got like a smaller refined like
don't get
tackle?
Me wrong. Like with listen, now I have my hold all, and I'll have my rods, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and then I'll just have a lunch bag. I have my rucksack.
Right,
it's a quarter. And I put it in my bag, not a quarter, whatever. But a quorum. And then I'll have, unfortunate thing that gets you is you need to say maize. I didn't bring maize last time.
So then it's the bucket of bait.
So it's that.
Well,
so I have, your umbrella. I have my chair. I have, it's just, you just can't get away with it. It's not that light.
Is it all day sessions you're doing now, Edu? Do you do any, get on any, obviously other than the tournaments, do you do any other like day sessions?
Oh, yeah. I did it down where I am here. And sometimes, you do like upstate New York and went to Beeville. We do the Beeville tournaments and all, but I've been up there and done the shootouts with them.
Yeah, they're still rocking those heavily, aren't they? They're kind of doing well.
We've done that.
That's fantastic. Now, this is going back some years for me, but I don't know whether it really came from this point, but many years ago, Mike Dragon gave me some boilies, and we were fishing up on the well-known Tom Hannock, and he was like, listen, if you're struggling, he's like, try one of these. And I'm like, well, what is it? And, you smell it and you get this aroma, but you just really weren't sure what it was. And he was like, just if you're struggling to catch a fish, put one on, whack it out, leave it. It'll go. It worked out that they were, what I'm aware of, the original, between yourself and Mike, they were the original PB crayfish boilies. I had like 6 of them he gave me. So I held on to them because they worked, obviously. But now, over time, you guys, is it right that you guys had this little bottle of oil for quite some time, wasn't it? And then the guy that had the recipe or the mix for the oil passed away? And you guys had to find out
the exact story. You want to know the exact story?
Because I was unaware of it, but it came to light last time I spoke with Mike that's kind of what had happened, and you guys were able to kind of regenerate this.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's a top bait. WCB has. I don't know. You can do that because they sponsor or something like that. They did it. Magdalena. But anyway, how it happened? I was fishing at Troy in October by myself.
And when was it? How long back was this? Years ago, right? I mean, I
think before I was chairman. That'd be 99, 2000, 99, something like that. And who comes down is Chris LeBucky and Franz Lazinski. Back in the day,
very well-known troublemakers.
Yeah. Back in the day, they were the main thing where Troy was because they used to fish it every other. Franz used to tell me to fish with there because he'd fish and put bait out, and 3 days later, Chris would go there, and it was kind of that. And sometimes they fished together, and that's what keeping bait out there.
Yeah, of course.
So I came down fishing. Hey, I didn't catch nothing. They said, no. So I talked for a while, and Chris goes to me. He says, "Here, take these. He says, this is it for me. It's my last time fishing." He says, "Here's something. You're not catching nothing. This works a lot." I says, "All right." I opened them up. They were sorted boilies, different colors, but it didn't have a fishy smell. It didn't really. It was kind of weird. And I said, "What is?" He says, "It's actually, Ian at the time was a representative for SBS. Okay. He was.
Right.
And SBS had a crayfish. And that's what Chris said. I just SBS. I just mixed them.
It was just an oil, is that right?
It's just a flavor.
Yeah, and it just put some on and mixed
that's what
it
he
up.
did. He says, they work. Listen, I'm going to tell you. I said, Joe, I must have had them for like a year. I'm like, they didn't. And one day I said, let me just try the thing. And I just said, Mike, hey, me and Mike just started getting buddy up. And I says, I look at these. And I told him the story. Really? I said, give him a shot. I gave him a shot.
Yeah.
And he said he went to Oradell Reservoir. And he said that day, I remember it was slow. He was fishing the friend, and his son was there gating. And they put a rod. I said, I'm going to try. He said, you know what? He says, I put one of those boilies on. And I had to go to the car. Next thing I know, Gaten's fighting the fish. He says, and it was amazing. He says, and it just was. So it just was.
Yeah.
But the thing is that SBS actually went out of business.
Right.
And the last time I called him in England, I had a small jar, and I called him up. I says, listen. He says, we don't have any of that left. He says, let me look. He says, I got a 500 mil bottle and I got a 100 mil bottle. Would you want it? I said, yeah, I'll take it.
Give me it all.
So he did. He sent it to me. And actually, I gave the 100 mil bottle to Val and Mike. And I had that. And through the years, I've had it all these years. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that was in 2000, yeah.
Because it's pretty potent stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little goes a long, long old way, doesn't it?
And for some reason or other, I used to like, with the bait, when I first used it, was Nutra bait, banana pineapple. It seemed to work on that boilie the best, I found. And that's what I did. But once you put it on, it just stood on there.
Maybe it just enhanced all the nutrients and everything
the
in the flavors.
Banana seemed to do it. There were other crayfish flavors, but not like that. It just was not. And then what happened, when we got with WCB, we had mentioned, me and Mike had mentioned, because we both, did it. And would she be interested? We said, this is the phenomenon. And she's like, I'd like that. We never had it. So the little bit I had left, she had it
recreated. Yeah. And
it's very much,
and it's very similar. They were able to do
I even had Ian when I was up there for St. Lawrence. I said, smell. He goes, what? It does. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same. Yeah.
And that's why it's PB. It's not personal Beck. It's pineapple, banana.
Right.
Crayfish.
Yeah. And the crayfish.
It does. That's one of her best sellers.
Unreal.
There's something about it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I mentioned to you there, I got a few, like a small handful from Mike at one point, and they definitely.
They did something about it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and then I used them, and that was it. After that, it was gone. But that's great. That's
it's just
jeez. Now, they're still doing that now, right? They're still making those. You're still using those, still catching.
We've won. Me, Mike, and Val, team we do with the tournaments.
Yeah,
it's a great team. It just works. I mean, they're younger than me and do a lot of the bull work, and I do my share and all that. But we've won four tournaments.
Jeez.
And we won it with the crayfish boilie.
So there you go. It says,
We have. It just
works,
does.
Now, those tournaments that you're using it's all boilies that you're using, obviously.
Yeah.
Right, on those fish, yeah. And they're river tournaments.
Yeah, Beeville.
All for the Baldwinsville tournament.
Well, we did Beeville up there. I mean, I've done Connecticut twice with my friend Barry.
Are you doing that this year?
Yeah, me and Mike.
You and Mike are partnering up on that.
I'm looking forward to that because we have we did a tournament on when Dave Moore first had it in Hartford, remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they used to do the Carp tournament series. They did it there, and that was that's some few years back. But it all originated from that, didn't it? So
Dave Moore did do that. I mean, Dave Moore started Beeville, Dave Moore did that. Dave Moore has a lot to.
We have a lot to thank him for.
He always calls me grumpy.
I know. He loves a lot of people. He loves you.
But whatever, we're buddies. Right? But no, he is what's your goal. He had a lot to do with the tournament fishing in here.
Yeah.
It was really I love it.
Yeah. It's a different scene, isn't it? It's not for everyone.
I would rather now, at my age, do a 3 or 4 day session, and especially a tournament, than to go for a single day.
Right.
Even though you have to set up. You set up and then you're there for 3 days. It's just, I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice way to do it, isn't it?
It is.
Really?
It is.
And it takes a little bit of that aggravation of just going for a few hours, setting up, packing up.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Like when we did the Beeville tournament, and it was the monsoon. Syracuse never had that much rain. I don't know if you remember.
I do remember.
Never had that much rain.
Water rose quickly, didn't it?
Unbelievable. But we just lucky. We started out slow, but as it went, we started just getting. We had in fish. All of a sudden, we got a 27, another 27. We wound up with. We had 6. You need 6 fish, right? 4 27s and a pair of upper 26s.
Yeah.
It was like constant. We never in our tournaments. You've never caught a 30, but we've always been like that. Consistent. And I'll tell you, the story with that monsoon was really funny. That morning. We were close.
Like to tie in with someone? Or?
Yeah, we were just ounces close.
Oh, blimey. Yeah.
So it's the last morning, and it cleared right out. Like one of them real fronts come in. This is October. It was chilly.
So it got
it's
cold
like, when you really don't catch nothing. Those cold things, blue skies, windy, right? But we were catching fish. So it was like around 11 o'clock. You packed up, I think, like 12 or 1, something like that. So Mike says, I want to go get my car. You can't leave your car. He says, I'm going to go get my car.
Yeah.
All right. He went to get his car and Val. I started taking down my tracker. I didn't hear nothing. I happened to look at Mike's rod. And it looks like, I thought maybe it was weed. But when I looked, I could see his spool. So I went over.
Oh,
I said, Val. Val, he almost spooled him. Joel, it was hot. I could see he has like a.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? I used so much.
This fish had been running for some time, obviously.
Bank. How I ever got him in, I'll never know.
So you actually got all the line back, the fish back, got it in the net.
It was a long side shot.
And that fish, helped bump you guys up to the next level?
I said to Val, Val, it's like a good fish. Get it. I even stepped out my foot in the water. Also, we get it. We put it in sack. 27, what you call it. And Mike comes up, he says, I says, yeah, Mike, we just got a good fish. He says, well, we need something over 20. I said, Mike, it's like 27.9. He was like, get out of here. And we beat that. We got into the money.
Oh,
right?
with
like,
that fish. Yeah.
With 1 pound.
Wow.
A couple ounces. That was a good story. It
Yeah, it's funny how those tournaments can turn around like that, isn't it? Up there, the river's loaded with fish up on that river, the Seneca River. Though, isn't it? It's weird actually. We would, something that's come up as I've been kind of doing these podcast episodes. Everyone that I've had on, we've all kind of touched on the fact that over the years, especially now, fish sizes have kind of dwindled off. Numbers are somewhat still there.
Up there.
Yeah.
Yes.
There and on the St. Lawrence. So the Seneca and so it seems like the river fish either move out to a different zone maybe or something. But have you noticed that as well? Like when you've done
that? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Beeville is not Wachiko like it was.
Right. Because I remember years ago, 2008, people would be getting over 1,000 pounds of fish in, in a few, in
now it's
days.
So don't get me wrong. Like, they just had a shootout up there and they caught some nice fish, 27, 26, but they're not getting the numbers anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not that many big fish.
Yeah. What in your mind, what do you think does that? I mean,
I think they're smart enough.
You really think so?
I think they do. And another thing notice too is that Pack used to kill it up there. It still catch them. But a lot of guys are doing boilies. A lot of times when we did the tournaments, we used. I for many couple of years I really favored Pack. I really did.
Like the pack. So for the listeners, pack bait is like it's like the southern style pack bait. Fishing,
a lot of guys say they were pack bait. When I did the pack bait, I should talk to Mr. Big a few times. I mean, he's secretive, but still, we liked each other. And I fished pack bait like they fish. I'd have a 1.5 ounce egg sinker,
inline sliding,
a little rubber bead,
yeah.
And I put a 3-inch thing there, and I put a puff. But what I also use is I would just put a little rubber piece of foam on it. I'd cut a little piece of foam, a little teeny,
as a hook bait. You mean?
Yeah, as a little teasy foam. It wasn't a bait. It was just to keep the hook up a little bit. I would cut it with a little teeny piece that would make the hook just wouldn't sink in the thing.
Just to balance it, neutral.
And that was no bait. Right. I would put a little flavor on it, but I'd put my oats around that. I didn't put them on no lead. Wow. And the thing was, it is because pack bait.
And so as the fish is obviously like sucking up at the pack bait.
The pack is your bait, not the thing. Even the puff is not the bait. Yeah. It's the pack that's the bait. When they suck up that oats, all that oats is going over. And here's this thing. That's why when I had that hook there, that was even more detrimental to catching them because the puff is visual. There was nothing there. They didn't see nothing. Some guys even use bare hook because it's not the pickup. It's the pack.
Yeah, so they're just kind of sucking away at that, and they're nailed by.
That's why something could be deadly once they get going.
Now, when fishing like that, did you find the fish would still run off like they do in conventional
screaming
methods?
Runs,
or you wouldn't have to worry about setting that?
No, like you see these guys, they hook them like.
Yeah, they're really ripping.
I had be like normal. Once they hook, they're hooked.
Off they go.
Right. Pay Lakers have it straight, and they got like 40-pound test. There's no drag.
Right.
They don't use no drag. They're locked
different reels and everything, isn't it?
Like
bait caster.
But I was fished just like like we were fishing ledger. Jeez. I would just keep it taut. Same with the bobbin. Deadly.
Now, obviously. Now you're doing the more kind of boiling approach,
yeah, because
right?
When I did a tournament, a lot of times when we started a tournament, Mike and Val Wachiko we do the boilie routine. Yeah. We figure out a thing and stuff like that, and I would try the pack.
Yeah,
it just wouldn't do it. And then I switch over to boiling, and we straighten. A lot of times it was that PB crayfish.
Now, when you guys start off for these tournaments, initially when you kind of open gates, the bell goes, and you guys start. Pre-bait, like baiting up wise, do you start with particles to get the fish moving, or do you just go straight in with
our team there? Me, Val, and Mike, we'll sit down. We'll say, "Listen, what do you think?" We'll put together particles. Mike makes a nice particle mix. He has oils, and we crush up some boilies and blah, tiger nuts, the whole thing. Everybody knows it, right? And we'll feel like this: you want to spot long range, 3/4 range, and once we agree on a thing, we'll
like
clip it up
or whatever,
and we'll put that out there.
Yeah.
But once we get that out there, we'll stick boilies at further, and we'll stick boilies, and just keep on sticking boilies. Yeah. And if we catch a fish, we'll just put a couple more boilies,
a few more on top,
and then at night we put the spot mix again. We'd always have that smart mix, but the smart mix was always kind of like in closer. But eventually,
Then do you
would be
taper
almost,
that off towards the end of the tournaments, and then just
in a way.
at that point you're kind of just feeding the boilies, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I love a boilie approach to anything. I mean, obviously spring months are slightly different. I just tend to kind of do particles, but boilies are kind of proven, aren't they? Like the nutritional benefits that fish get.
The only thing I'd say with boilies, it's listen, you can catch them if you go there cold, but it's not an instant bait.
No, it's long
nothing.
Term, isn't it?
That's why you can go with maize or a tiger nut.
Yeah,
tiger nuts. So tiger nuts, what you call it? It's if you think of like lily pads like that, you look at they're kind of similar. They look like that's what they like them. I believe they like it's kind of a root type of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas a boilie, but I think if you like, I have a buddy of mine who straight boilie guy.
Yeah.
I already went fishing the Goodyear Lake, and we went there for like 4 days. For 3 days, he didn't catch nothing. We were catching things. I was using pack. We were using. I was using the puff and the pack. He wasn't catching nothing.
Unreal.
And then finally, that night before he left,
boom,
they got on his boilies, shut everybody down. He must have caught 15 fish that night. His name is Neil.
Yeah.
And the next day, but once that place got on the boilie, every time you went, they didn't really want the puff and pack. Once that lake got boilie.
Yeah, just that introduction period.
That was it.
And then once it's established, the fish find it.
They remembered it.
They keep going back for it, don't they?
Yes, they do.
It blows my mind how these. I mean, the fish
amazing.
are just unreal creatures that can just zone into that stuff. Now, talking of bait, I heard a little story from one of your good friends that at one point you had a visitor in the form of a bear that tried to get in through a window.
Oh, my house. That's the last house I had here.
So can you tell what the heck happened?
That's where I live. I lived there about a year. And at the time, when I moved there, I'd make up a bucket of maize and I'd leave it outside with the lid.
While it's soaking, right?
Yeah, it's soaking, stuff like that. And then I had a spare bedroom. I had no garage, but I used to keep a lot of. That's why I said it was a pretty big house. And I keep a lot of my flavors on the shelf. And it smelled all right, nice. And
I'm sure, yeah.
But all of a sudden I noticed, I'll tell you the truth, all of a sudden the bucket of maize, you know how heavy a bucket of maize is, 5-gallon bucket of maize. It's gone. I'm like, where the hell is my bucket of maize? I'm looking around his property. It was a beautiful property, big. Then I walked into the woods and and there's the bucket opened. I'm like, my brother said, maybe it was a raccoon. I'm thinking, raccoon? I mean, that's a rat. So I left it out again. And then there's one night, I'm in bed. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I hear something.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, wow, maybe it's a raccoon or something. I felt like something was scraping the side of the house, right? So I get up. So when I come out of my bed, my hair's, and there's a spare bedroom right next to me. So I came out through the living room and went to the kitchen, put the kitchen light on. I'm looking out there. I don't see nothing, but I still hear something. So I says, it's in the spare bedroom. I open up the spare bedroom door and put the light on, and here's this bear. His 2 feet were in. He ripped my screen out because it was summertime. I left the window open, and he smelled, I guess, all the smells. And here he is, and now he's stuck. and at first, I went like, whoa, right? And
he's got his head through the window, front legs are through.
And so to the self, I had this shelf with all kinds of shit, the flavors.
Yeah.
And I had spray paint that I sprayed my leads. Well, I don't know. I just grabbed it up and threw it at him, and I hit him right in the head. And it really startled, and he backed out. It was like a lucky, one in a million. But yeah. And then I actually called the DEP, and they said there was a farm up there that had it, and they shot him 3 days later. They had to get rid of him because they don't do that, he says. And he was like 350 pounds. He was Joe.
Could have gone
his
really
head was
bad,
as big
couldn't
as
it?
was 4. I'm telling you.
What if he had gotten in? What would you have done if he had gotten in?
Imagine if he got in there.
Well, he was halfway through already, wasn't he? But
I'll tell you, when I looked outside, he ripped my screen door in the kitchen. I almost moved then because I'm like, this bear wanted to get in the front door. Now he's moving in here. What the hell am I going to do if he gets in here one time?
So he just obviously got a good whiff of something he wanted, and that was it. No stopping him.
But to that day, I never left windows open in the house, and I never put bait out again.
Now, just unreal. How'd you do your bait prep now? Now you've moved.
Now I got to get used to it because this is different.
Yeah.
The other house, I had no garage, but I had a spare bedroom. It was a big house. Like this is 700 square feet. That was 1,500.
Right.
And the spare bedroom was, 2 beds like that. And
so you had a little bit more room.
Yeah, I saved
right.
all my stuff under the beds. I made the shelf and a thing there. And when I did, I live alone.
Yeah.
If I did bait, I had a deck, a big deck.
So you can just do it.
I'd boil it outside,
Yeah,
and I'd have my bait buckets in the kitchen. I had a I guess a hutch type thing.
Okay.
It was just flavors and baits. I mean, so it was like a fishing clubhouse, and I kept it really nice. Don't get me wrong. If anybody came here, but it was that. I mean, if my wife was with me, no way. You're going to have like 3 buckets of bed in there, and I'd have boily buckets. And then I had a garbage pail with my maize. Then I had another thing with my panko, and it was like a single fisherman's dream, but I kept it really nice. You wouldn't know it, but over here it's different. I have a little shed. So
you can keep stuff stored.
I can, but it ain't the same at the convenience. If I want to tie rigs or do my thing, I just went in the bedroom.
In your room, in your fishing room.
I had a big box that I just keep everything in.
Yeah.
And I take it out of the living room, put it over my couch and my counter, and I'd hook links out there. And
sounds like sounds like me a little bit now with home life. I've got
play around with rice pack.
Yeah.
Make a rice pack.
Try different ways to make it.
Yeah. Try to hook links, sit there. I remember on the dresser I had the things there. I had lead core lines all
hung up, stretched out.
Yeah, like if someone was with me or a woman was there, I always knew it was like a little ridiculous.
Hey, yeah, but you got to live. It's carp fishing, isn't it? You can't.
Yeah. It was great. The place was great. It just was.
Yeah. Well, now
it's all right here.
Now you're here. You still do the same kind of thing.
Yeah, I get used to
smaller scale, right?
Yeah.
Now, so in the fall months now, aren't we? So obviously, for a lot of guys that do what we enjoy, the carp fishing, coming up for prime time, isn't it? Or almost now, we're really there.
Yeah, I'd rather go in the fall months than the spring. Just in my opinion, the spring months, forget about it. I mean, people are like, oh, they're hungry. No, they're not hungry. They feed all through the winter, in my opinion, and they're not hungry. Yeah. What I like more fall, I think, you could keep them going through the whole year if you want to keep on doing it, because they're used to feeding. And if you keeping feeding going in an area, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though it gets cold, they're used to feeding. Whereas the spring, if you don't fish a day and they, to get them going, it's a waste of time.
A lot more work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, with the way the weather's been recently and now, all of a sudden, it's almost just kind of just flipped over it very quickly.
Yeah.
I've not on the way up. I mean, normally you wouldn't get you wait for the colours. I wait for the colours on the trees to change. And
yeah.
This time last year was definitely nowhere near what it is now, and it's all of a sudden. Yeah. What do you make of that? Do you think it's going to make things a little different for weather and stuff coming up?
I don't know. It was crazy. It was a weird spring, right? And then all of a sudden it got to be a hot streak. For July and August, when I moved in, it was really ridiculous. Hot. And now it's starting to cool down. Like I said, it was interesting when I fished the other day. Like I didn't fish actually when I went down there the other day. Like I said, I was set up when I got set up, it was like I got there at 4:00. By the time I got my stuff, got everything set out, sticked about 50 or 60 boilies, assorted boilies, nothing.
Right.
And it was 4:45. Well, I think it was 4:45. So about 10 to 6, I got a run. It was a big catfish.
Jeez.
So I tried this tonight. No. I like these little dumbbells sometimes, but I tried one of the concepts hemp madness things they have out there. That's sort of a pop-up. So I put that out there, and like 25 to 6, I got this screamer. And he was taking, I knew it.
Yeah, you don't you?
He was.
Got a good none.
One thing at the reservoir down here, he must have took 200 yards. He just kept on going. I had to even cup it. I didn't want to tighten the dread. I wanted to just stop him. He was taking a lot of line.
It's deep water there?
Yeah, I guess that's about.
Drops off pretty deep.
Yeah. The reservoir is weird. It gradually goes down like this, right? And it'll go to 30 feet. But it's like a crater. One time the water went down so low. It's like a major crater. Like you see these moon craters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like someone dropped a bomb in it.
You couldn't even fish. It's so steep down. Yeah, it's weird.
Makes you wonder where these zones are that these fish go to. Cause,
yeah, like for some reason, not like getting like at range, like
right.
like I was just thinking like, it's an odd reservoir.
How far out are you fishing when you go there?
Oh, I'm over 100 yards.
Really?
Yeah.
Corey, that's a chuck, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like just silt mud, but. This year's been odd fishing. That the water I fish here has changed every year. Yeah. It's really been a challenging thing. There was a time for a couple of years we caught them on pack, but now it seemed like I tested a few years back that if I just would get down there like 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, stick 50, 60, 70 boilies as far as I could, and cast as far as I could, I'd manage 2 or 3 fish and only there for 3 hours, just like the other day.
That's not bad going, is it, really?
No one's fished it for a month and a half, and my other buddies were fishing it for a month or 2 before, baiting it up, going there, and really couldn't do anything. It was kind of interesting, which makes me think maybe putting a lot of bait might not be the thing, because we used to have we have a boat there. We put 5 gallons. Yeah, we put 5 gallons of maize, but maybe... I don't know.
Might be the key to how they want it, little bit often.
Yeah, they did there, but maybe they don't like all that, or maybe it attracts a lot of small fish. I have no idea.
It could very well be that. It's kind of something to look into. That's always something that's interested me on different waters, and obviously everywhere's slightly different, isn't it? It's never the same.
Yeah,
it's just figuring it out.
I'll tell you something with fishing. Personally, I've caught some decent fish. I'm not a big fish guy.
Yeah,
my biggest to this day is only 37.10 for all these years. I'm just not that. What I am is I think that I can go when I go, and I always say at least I can manage a fish, and I do.
Yeah.
And I don't like people like a one-dimensional fisherman. They like the same rig. They like the same bait.
Sure.
They don't care where it is. They're going to use it and watch it go. It's ridiculous. You have to adjust.
Yeah.
But
well, if you don't, you don't learn much, do you? If you're doing the same thing, you can't adapt and kind of figure the fish out, because that's really what it is that we do, isn't it? I mean, we go to these waters unsure of what we might get. Got to figure the water out. A little bit of watercraft comes into play, where the fish are. Yeah,
and it's just I don't know. It's like, I still, to this day, all these years I'm fishing carp, don't consider myself a real good fisherman, because I can't control the fish.
Yeah, I don't know.
I used to have pigeons.
That's right. Yeah.
In the city.
Yeah.
I had them as a kid, and then I had it when I got in Queens. I bought a house.
No, these are race pigeons?
No racing pigeons. These were regular, okay. And I had them for 15 years on my roof. Well, I'm not bragging and stuff like that, but my pigeons did things that no one else did. I had a performing stock. I can't explain if you don't know it, but it's a performing stock. I wanted them to do one. A lot of times people have pigeons. They'll have 200-300 pigeons, and they let them out and they clap around.
How many did you have?
Well, with breeders and all, at the end of breeding season, maybe 800.
Wow. Now, what was the setup for, obviously, housing them and keeping them?
I had a big roof on a coop. Maybe it might have been 10 by 20. Then I had another coop where I had some breeders in it. For breeders, I still use them, but they breed. But the pigeons, I had a performing stock, and a lot of guys would have their pigeons come out. A lot of people would get complaints about pigeons because even nowadays, they poop all over bag. Crap,
yeah, okay, yeah, they get a little messy or whatever. Yeah,
I didn't do that. My pigeons I let them out.
They go do the thing.
They did their fly. I trained them. And I trained them, took care of them, cleaned it, let them in, stuff like that. And I was they did things and I could control it, even though they were an animal. But I've never found that with fish. I can't do that with fish.
It's a whole nother
The
concept,
pigeon was
isn't it?
there. If I had a pigeon that was in his flock and flew away from the flock, well, I'd get rid of that pigeon. Or if a pigeon got too old, let's put it this way, when I flew the pigeons in the performing stock, none of the pigeons were more than 3 years old.
Right.
Because, well, listen, if you have a guy 15 years old and you have a guy 35 years old, who do you think is going to beat it?
Yeah.
So that was the thing. A lot of people don't know that. But with the fishing, that's the one thing that eludes me. It's just, they're odd.
It's funny, isn't it?
Like you say, you fish somewhere, you can catch them. And if you hammer it too much, something happens. You say it with Beeville or Troy, all these big places. And I've had fishings many times where, I'd get mad at people because they'd fish it. And I'd say, don't do that for a variety of reasons. First of all, on Hammer, you do that, but then the wrong people see it.
Yeah.
Then you get down and you get a guy with the breadcrumb with the 6 hooks and a rod, and they keep everything. I was down there. There's a lake up here in outside of Monticello, and there was a Russian guy, a Polish, whatever, and he's fishing, and he's catching these. I see he has a thing there, sunfish, has some perch. He had a yellow perch. Fish, yeah. I said, what do you do with all them? Oh, grind and make fish patties. I mean, grind and make fish patties. Yeah. I said, what do you? I said, do you clean them out? No, the whole thing. I said, lips, fins, whole thing. Jesus Christ. I don't give a shit. An eel? That's what he said. You mix it with Brad. I said, what do you? Oh, flour.
Right.
Delicious.
They fry them up.
I said, you don't think like the fin sticks you in the mouth? Nah, they grind up. That's what he said to me. Jesus.
Now, obviously, yeah.
Right? Imagine that.
Of that one mine now.
That's what he said.
Now, you touched on something that, I think is beneficial, but not at different times of the year or different times in general, depending on what water it is. But that is how much or how many people are fishing one place at one time. Now, do you think that is good and bad? I mean, I've seen waters, quite big lakes and reservoirs, but have seen a lot more action in terms of anglers coming to fish it, and the fishing's gotten better. But I've also seen it do the opposite. Now, in your mind, is that like obviously you've seen waters that have gone from one extreme to the other?
Yeah,
right?
let's just say Tomahawk Reservoir.
Yeah,
that was a hard weather. When we started fishing it more, the fish got acclimated to bait.
Yeah.
I mean, you back off and you start going. Like now, it's hard to fish it because they'll go back to their natural sources.
Yeah,
it just is.
It's gotten like I mean, you go back 5 years ago, it was on fire. You'd fish it now, you'd be good luck if you get a fish out of there.
But vice versa. But if you get a place with a lot of fish, I mean, you can't. I mean, people can keep fishing and fishing. And never
but still,
stop. But you'll see the fish will get smaller. You won't get those big fish. You won't not. Yeah. Here's another thing too. It's interesting too, right? You bait an area for 2 or 3 days. First fish is a 25. Every other fish after that, it can't even break 15 pounds. When you first went there, because like, say you put a little more bait out there.
Right.
Like when you first get there, like I fished a spot one time. I was baiting it for like a week. I did. I put 2 5-gallon pails of maize. I went with the boat and dumped it.
Yeah.
3 days. I went Monday, Wednesday,
kind of staggered
and Friday.
It. Yeah.
I always stagger it.
Yeah.
And I always put bait the last day I'm going to bait from a fish. So, and when I got there with the boat, I just put a little bait out. Set my thing. First fish was 26 pounds. I'm like, oh man, I found
we're off to a flyer. Yeah,
it was called Swinging Bridge Reservoir over in the Monticello. But
yeah, I couldn't catch there a couple of times.
I couldn't catch nothing over 14 pounds after that.
Yeah, a lot of small fish in there though.
They just moved in. They dominated it. Yeah. See, before I put that bait, they probably guzzled it all up. But when I put the little one, the little ones came running over, and that was the end of the big one. I think he just said,
"I'm out."
Yeah.
And the big fish, they like. I mean, we know they kind of tend to either stick on their own or small pods, don't they? So
yeah, you're right. Because even like in the tournaments, you get like a 27 or 28. I tell you, get your rods back out there because you'd be surprised. You'll get like 2 of them.
Yeah, you think that's going to be the way for the fall tournament down on the Connecticut River?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah,
you get a big fish. I'd get my rods out there because actually, I will say when I did the tournament, sometimes. One of my teammates, Val, he always has the 3rd rod set up there, ready to go. He only used 2 rods.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I wouldn't do it. He says, hey, why don't you have a 3rd rod? I'm like, So he bugged me, but it's true. So now I do.
You've got it ready to go once the fish is in the net.
Like when I did, now when I do it up there, I always have, 3 rods, fish 2. If I get a run, I just go, it's the same thing, and I just put it back out. If I get a fish, I'm not waiting. If it's in the net.
Yeah, fish in the net, grab the other rod, cast it back out.
Let the guys take care of the thing there. I take the rod, and then I can mess with it.
Yeah, I think that's key, isn't it, to these tournaments? Yeah. Kind of efficiency and.
Because sometimes they'll come in packs, the big fish, and if you lose that, Yeah. Yeah, so that's why it's a learning thing there. And I've been doing, a a long time. And like I said, a lot of people that I fish with now, I just met them 20 years ago, and they learned a lot of stuff from me, I believe. And now I learned from them.
Yeah, it's a huge world, but the carp family and the carp scene is a small, well-known community, isn't it? So
I will tell you one thing that I think people much cooler. Sometimes people get to a point they think they know everything.
Still learning.
If you think you know everything, you'll never be a good at anything. Like when I had the pigeons. Listen, I had the top pigeon stock, but this one year, this guy, they called him Limpy John. His flights, his birds did things I couldn't believe. I'm like, I said, John, what the hell's going on here? It was he only had it for 2 years. But
he just knew a certain technique or whatever.
He said, well, you know what? He said, I don't feed them no corn. Mixed pigeon feed, the yellow corn.
Right.
I don't fish no corn. I said, really? He said, it's too much carbohydrates. If you feed them peas and stuff like that, it's more protein. Really? And I used to feed them like racing feed and had a lot of corn. And, well, I changed over. And I noticed a difference. My fishing, so it's the same thing. If you don't learn, that's for me. I will never. Yeah. Sometimes I try to give my opinions to people. Sometimes I think it's too much because I'm not a guy who hides anything. I'm not.
It's good. It's good to share that information and kind of help others along the way, isn't it? I think it's a sport that, especially here in the US, it's a sport that's still growing. It's still very much in its infancy, and it's important to help people kind of help.
And a lot
grow.
of times, what I've experienced, and I found that was just a waste of time. I try to confer it. Sometimes people take me the wrong way. It's good intention, but sometimes everybody likes to do their own thing. But I found out. I'll tell you something. Carp fishing is just a simplicity thing. It's nothing there.
Yeah,
I mean, overseas and stuff like that, there might be a reason for all the rigs and stuff like that. Because look at those legs.
100%.
They got like 25 fish in there. They know everyone, and they get fishing for months and never get one. And you have to trick them.
Yeah.
But over here, it ain't.
No, absolutely. Now, I mean, I like to kind of get people's thoughts on the progression of the sport.
Yeah,
carp fishing here. Obviously, you've been in it a while. You know the game. You kind of, how do you see it progressing over the next 5-10 years? Do you think it's going to continue to grow and build more momentum?
I think they're going to start out a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, you think that's the way forward?
People are starting to like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm my age. I wish I was 10 or 15 years younger back in my 50s. I mean, it's harder for me, but I still do it. And my team
still in it though.
Yeah, my team says until I say no, they'll put up with the old guy. But I do all right, I guess. But anyway, but But it is more. Like look at Big Plug Tackle. They do sell a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot more guys now than there were 5 years ago.
Like I think Mike said, you go now and people see you fishing. Like, I've seen that before. Whereas 20 years ago, man, I never seen that before. What is that? That little, They had no idea like that.
It's just a funny world. I feel like it's definitely it's obviously continuously growing. It's getting bigger every month, every year, whatever. It's just nice to hear other people's thoughts on it, and where would you like to see it in your mind?
Well, I'll tell you, I have mixed feeling. I had a friend of mine. I have to mention because I don't talk to him. Jimmy Hubert. Everybody knows in this office. I don't know if you know him, but he's an old time beginning carper. He was one of the early days.
Is he old CAG guy?
Oh, he was ask Nigel Jen about Jimmy Hubert, but he had a bad reputation. Whatever.
Okay.
But he said to me, he didn't want to get any bigger. I don't like it any bigger. He goes, pretty soon, you know what'll happen? We used to be able to fish. There'll be 10 guys fishing. And there's a little bit of, he was my friend and we fished a lot. There's a little bit of that. I like the tournament, but if it really got to be ridiculously popular, you know what I'm saying? The Connecticut River, you wouldn't have a good spot. I don't know. Don't take me the wrong way.
Like I said, I mentioned to Mike before when we talked on this topic, kind of this subject, that I feel that there is room for everyone.
There is.
And I mean, look at the size of the country.
Yeah.
Look at the size of the waters.
Right. It would never get that way.
I mean, I mean, there's waters that haven't even been scratched the surface yet, and they're still
like up around here. Fish. I mean, there's like I just asked you with this lake there. I want to test that out.
Give it
it's
a go.
Not that far from here. It's an hour drive from here.
No, give it a go.
There are some waters around here,
It's well worth a visit up there.
I have a piece of water down in the town is called Holdcutsville, and it's actually the stream goes through, and years ago it was dammed up, and they said they used to barges went through it. It's just,
really?
if you look at it, when the water's up with the little dam they have, it looks like it's a big thing, and a few people fish it. They can cast out on you, and you're in like a foot of water. The only thing is the middle has this little trench that runs right through it. And it's not, maybe it could be
It's probably the old river, the old
20
creek.
foot apart. It's only like 6 foot deep.
Yeah.
But if you fish that trench, you get some nice carp.
So there you go.
I don't fish it a lot, but I still think there's huge fish. One day I was stopped my car, I seen 2 guys fishing there. And believe it or not, they were the ones you don't want fishing there.
Yeah.
You know, with the 6 hooks.
The
So I just wanted to see.
what they were doing and whatnot, yeah.
And when I came, I stopped my car and I was walking up there. I had to park up there a bit. I seen a guy grab something and dump something in the back of his truck.
Right.
And it looked like a huge, huge tail. I think they had a huge, huge fish. Because I said, one guy told me that his father one time caught a 37 at it. But have you seen his place? He was like, wow.
It's surprising, isn't it? It has sometimes these older lakes kind of in the middle
Like
of nowhere.
this would be if a person it was a float fisherman, like Miguel, my mom. They did, they're good float fisherman. They did perfect, but it's a nice little piece of water, not far from him, only like 5 minutes away.
Well, maybe we have to get together and check it out.
It's an odd place.
Sounds good.
It's alongside the road,
Yeah, that's great. Well, I want to take a moment to thank you for having me up here.
Okay, no,
And,
thank you for asking me to do this.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's really cool. I'm really enjoying doing these, and especially kind of, like I mentioned before, that capturing that historic factor and kind of some backstories and how guys got into it and just kind of the growth and where it's come from to where it is now. The scene, I think it's important to have that and look back on it.
Yeah.
And Ed Wagner, thanks ever so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to do it with us.
I will say people missed the heyday.
Yeah.
95, 96, 97, those days there. Nigel Griffin, Quid, and Pat Kerwin.
Yes.
Pat Kerwin, that guy. That just a guy fishing. I don't know what. He's either be lucky or he's a genius, but
One or the other.
no matter what. Just like Nigel. Yeah, no one be catching nothing. Yeah. I remember we were on it one time down there in Pennsylvania on the water that goes through there. No one's catching nothing. He comes down there. He's there 10 minutes. He gets an 18-pounder. It was like ridiculous. And he won the pot. I will say a lot of my fishing I mimic from Nigel Griffin. Nigel Griffin's very simple. And that's how my approach. I did. We all kind of learned a lot from him and Fran and Pat and
it's fantastic.
Phil Saunders and
old GB.
It was fun. It was a lot. It was so exciting. So
that's great. It's really fantastic to hear everything that's gone on over the years. So again, thanks so much for taking
Joe.
the time.
No, thank you.
Appreciate it. As always, thank you for joining us and listening in on this episode of the Big Carp News Podcast. If you are enjoying this content, be sure to follow along by subscribing to us and listening in to us on one of the many podcast platform outlets. Also, a huge thank you to Ed Wagner for taking the time out and allowing us to come up to his new home in the Catskill Mountains and sharing some fantastic moments and memories from his carp angling. For more upcoming episodes of the Big Carp News Podcast, written articles, product reviews, and much, much more, be sure to check out the Big Carp News website over at www.bigcarp.news. And also, don't forget to check out Big Carp Tackle over at www.bigcarptackle.com for all your carp tackle needs right here in the USA. Stay safe and stay carpy.